Good morning. I'd like to thank you all for coming out and listening to my final speech for my speaking class. Here are a couple handouts on some organizations I'll be speaking of. My name is Bramlett, by the way. I apologize. And I'll be speaking on being a hero to a hero, or supporting prior armed forces members as they transition over into civilian life. After our men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces have taken off their uniforms and donned civilian clothes, I think we should support the organizations that support them in making that transition effective. There are approximately 1.3 million men and women who have been deployed in support of the missions in Iraq and Afghanistan. And all the parades and the handshakes and the awards that follow are wonderful and make us all proud to be an American. But think about for a second how that hero feels that was in the limelight after giving all their service, how it feels to come home and take their uniform and put it away for good, become a normal person, and they have no help. They don't know why they feel the way they feel because they don't have the ability to receive health care or mental health care. And they don't have employment to feed their families or support their families. Of that 1.3 million who serve the country, 30% come back with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. That's a lot of people. And that number is staggering in itself, but how many more have not been diagnosed? How many more don't know that they have a problem? We should not forget about our veterans. Not be fair weather friends, if you will. Only when they're supporting us, only when they're out there making sure the bad guys don't get us. Let's not be that country who leaves our heroes by the wayside, who forget about them and move on to the next new big thing. Earlier this year, the Department of Veteran Affairs reported that about 18 to 22 prior service members and veterans a day take their own lives. They commit suicide. They don't know what to do. They feel like they can't transition from being a soldier or an airman or a seaman or a Marine into being just me, just being who they are. They think it's their problem. They think they have an issue and they can't cope, so they take their lives. They leave their families with all these questions. And my question is, why? Why are they stuck in a position where they feel they have no help, where they have no hope? It's ridiculous that in the country that we live in, the superpower that we are, we can't support the ones that helped create that status. We are a superpower because our military is second to none. We support those who we feel can support themselves in all these other countries, but no one supports the foundation of that, the men and women who protect us. There are a few organizations that do support and help our veterans. The PTSD Foundation of Texas is one of them. I am a member, and they have something called Camp Hope. It is a facility that was a vacant lot, and everything that they have is donated. They have the vacancy space for 4 full families or several single military members. And this is all free of charge. They are very nice. They're very nicely outfitted. I went in and I asked them, could I rent one? And they were like, oh no, it's all for free. It's for our men and women coming back who can't find homes, who don't have the money or the ability to get a place themselves, and they don't have to end up in shelters or in a bridge or under a bridge or just dejected. And not only do they provide housing, they also provide counseling through a religious service, through the lay members and the pastors or anyone who wants to help. They help them. They try to give them some type of faith in something. Because a lot of times when we come back home and we feel like nothing, we have no faith. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. They try to give them some kind of foundation other than the military. Because once you separate yourself from being that, what do you have if you're that person? I've been a soldier, I've been an airman all my life, and now I'm not that. What am I? I'm nothing. These people free of charge, try to give them something, some kind of faith, believe in themselves, believe in a higher power so they can move on. They give them also employment. They have a lot of employment services. So it's a wonderful organization. And there's also the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. They're a lot larger than PTSD Foundation, and they have so many programs. They have a website, and they do Warrior for Life, and they have luncheons, and it's luncheons with GE, luncheons with large oil companies to give a veteran a chance at something else, something a little bit better. And I urge you, those handouts that I gave you, a little bit of information about both of those organizations that I told you about. And on there as well, there is a section where you can look up to donate. Not just money, you can donate time. There's a lot that we can do as single people, collectively, doing something towards a greater purpose. And that greater purpose to me is supporting our veterans, our armed forces, our prior armed forces personnel, and help them feel like there's somebody outside of the uniform. Truly be a hero to a hero. Do you have any questions? Because that is all I want to speak about. Anybody have any questions or concerns or caveats or comments?
How did you deal with it when you came back?
I'm still dealing with it. I never been very good at being a civilian, as it were. So I bounced around as a mandator. I'm a reservist, but you can put in to be active duty fill-in, and I did that for 6 years so that I would not have to transition. This job is my first non-military job that I've held in a very, very long time. And I've just been very blessed that the transition is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a daily struggle.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
I know here we hire veterans or whatever. Not like hire veterans, but we're veteran friendly, I guess you would say. Is that just random companies, or is that all over the U.S.?
Anyone can be a veteran friendly company. Actually, there are tax breaks for companies who hire veterans. And I actually use that in my interviews sometimes because it is a tax break if you hire a veteran. So, but there's a lot of culture, but a lot of culture differences. But
that's for every job.
For
like
any job.
Any business will
any
get
business,
tax break for hiring.
There's a tax break. There's a specific amount per veteran that you get a break on for hiring. So if you want people to help, give them a little bit of money.
Exactly.
I know you said those two places are the one in Texas.
They're both in Texas. They have Texas chapters.
Texas. Are there any other states that are trying to make a dramatic effort?
Oh my gosh, the Wounded Warrior Project. There are a lot that there's so many that I know that haven't even mentioned. These are just the ones that I am a part of personally. But if you would go onto these sites or just search veteran organizations, veteran support organizations, you will find a litany of them. I just know that these are very strong supporters. Texas is one of the states that have the largest support for veterans, and I've lived in a lot of states.
We have the majority of the military as well.
Yeah, well, the Air Force basic training is in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but not just that. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, and that has a base there, but the support is not as great as it is here. Texas is just a better state to be in if you're a veteran, as far as I'm concerned. But there are a lot of places. I just didn't have enough time to mention them.
Do you feel this starting to grow, this stuff, or do you feel like it's kind of in neutral right now?
I think it's a fad, just like everything else. Because of the Iraq and Afghanistan situations, everybody's like, oh, support the troops, this, support the troops, and it's a spike. And then they're like, oh, they kill babies, and it's a spike. Oh, we need them again. When something bad happens, you need the military. But when they feel, well, once we become complacent as a country, we forget that sense of urgency that got that spike. It becomes, well, why are they giving so much money to the military? Why do they need this and that? The military has been cut more and more for the last 8 years. I can attest. But we're still deploying with less money. And less money means maybe sometimes less effective equipment
Mhm.
or subpar equipment. But you have to use the funds, and our budgets have been cut considerably. But, I mean, it's there, it's making people aware all the time, keeping it to the front of their brain all the time. Like you give to the March of Dimes, give to a vet, give to a veteran support organization. Not saying more millions of dollars, but not just money, time. Just time. Go talk to somebody, how you can help your company do an internship. Some of them just want to see what it is like to work at a civilian place because they've never done it. Something is always better than nothing. A little bit of something all the time, it adds up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys,
Thank you.
and I appreciate again your time and attention.
Thank you.
You know that?
PTSD Foundation is having a bar